A special report on how some of the UK's bathing sites are even more polluted than previously thought. ITV News can reveal that many contain a cocktail of chemicals and bacteria, some of which can make you seriously sick and others which could cause cancer. We were given exclusive figures by Watershed Investigations, which has tested 23 bathing sites across the country. The tests were carried out twice a day, every day for a week this summer. It searched for more pollutants than the standard Environment Agency tests. It found levels of E.coli over recommended thresholds at a third of sites. The remnants of drugs and medications we use, including antibiotics and sunscreen, and perhaps most alarmingly, almost all contained antimicrobial resistant genes. Now, they are likely to have come from sewage or from farms, and scientists say it could make antibiotics less effective. Campaigners are calling for both the scope and frequency of testing to be greatly improved. Our science correspondent Martin Stew reports now on what lies beneath.
It's really bad. It's thick. It's like you can see it, smell it.
From athlete to patient, Josh says he was left bedbound by E. coli in the sewage he sculls through.
I couldn't eat for 3 weeks, to the point where I had to go to hospital and get on a IV drip. And they said that, you know, there's a lot of sewage and in the river at the minute, so that's probably most likely what it is.
You might not expect the Thames in central London to be clean, but what about areas specifically designated for bathing? Sheep's Green in Cambridge is one of 35 inland in England.
It's exhilarating to get in and get out. You get a kind of rush of energy when you've been in the water.
Yeah, an exhilaration.
I saw a heron.
The water Simon and Vanessa love is, according to the Environment Agency, poor quality, with high levels of E. coli, often a marker of animal or human excrement.
I've given up doing front crawl because I got so ill from doing that. I just think it's very sad that the river's gradually being progressively poisoned for myself and for others.
What exactly is that poison? Testing by Watershed Investigations, shared exclusively with ITV News, has sampled 23 bathing sites, searching for more than the bacteria the Environment Agency monitors.
They've just released their bathing water classifications, and this mixed pond here came out as excellent for E. coli, which is brilliant. But when we looked at it, we found there were lots of other chemicals in there. So we found pesticides, pharmaceuticals, for example, anticonvulsants, antidiabetics, and we found industrial chemicals like PFAS in there, which a couple of those are known to be carcinogenic.
They're known as forever chemicals. 6 different ones were found in Hampstead Bathing Pond, including one which can, at a much higher concentration, cause cancer. The big question, and this is one that lots of scientists are looking at the moment, is what happens when those chemicals get combined. Is it similar to mixing your drinks on a night out? And if so, what impact could that have not just on humans, but on wildlife too? Analysis at the University of York found Frensham Great Pond had 22 times the level of E. coli deemed safe in the USA, and other sites, including the Severn, Wharfe and Thames, had high levels of vet medicines and UV filters from sunscreens washed off us and our pets.
Under each of these spikes is a different chemical, essentially, in our river water sample. In this study, we detected up to 48 different chemicals.
In all but one bathing site, they found something else. AMR, or antimicrobial resistance genes, which can be bad news for antibiotics.
The worry with antimicrobial resistance is that bacteria may assimilate these genes into their genetic sequence. The real concern here is that it would render the medicines that we use to treat bacterial infections ineffective or less effective than they normally would be.
Scientists say that and E. coli levels probably pose a bigger risk to humans than chemicals because they're heavily diluted. The Environment Agency says its testing is robust, but the government is consulting on making changes as part of what it describes as the biggest reform of the water system for a decade. Until then, it's hard to be clear exactly what we're swimming in. Martin Stew, ITV News.